Hi, guys. In the world of dating, what you see on the surface is usually just a smoke screen. The kindness and those calculated smiles are all pieces in a much deeper psychological game. This is more so about control over the mind than it is about feeling. Listen, to truly understand the dynamics at play nowadays, you have to dig into the psychological layers most people miss. And this is exactly why Chapter 6 of my book, Attraction Secrets, exists. It teaches you how to identify a woman's behavioral patterns before you even attach emotion to it. Not what she says, not what she promises, but the pattern. If you can read the pattern early, you never get blindsided later. That's laid out step by step in Attraction Secrets. The link is in the description. So, what is this smokescreen? The moves are right in front of you, but only a few select men ever really realize what's going on. As someone navigating this terrain, you have to be aware of the dark psychological tricks that will be played against you. This shows up most clearly when you realize that this isn't about labeling women as an enemy. It's about recognizing the tactics that come into play when attraction shifts into a battle for control. Knowledge is power, and with this checklist, you'll have the tools to not just survive, but to thrive with women. Now, here's a list of the dark psychological tricks women play. Number 1, the push-pull technique, the emotional roller coaster. The push-pull technique is one of the most effective moves in seduction because it's a perfect balance between being close and then distant. By switching between affection and indifference, a woman keeps a man guessing and constantly uncertain about where he stands. This uncertainty fuels his desire to chase and makes him more invested in trying to close that gap. She texts you nonstop and she's playful and engaging, and then out of nowhere there's silence. That silence isn't just the lack of conversation. It's a trigger that makes your mind crave what's been taken away. You can't help but to reach out and try to regain the connection you were once hooked on. This works so well because it taps into the power of intermittent reinforcement. It spikes your dopamine. The highs and lows become addictive. It's just like gambling, where the next win always feels like it's around the corner. A lot of guys mistake this addiction for a genuine, true, real connection. They think the intensity means it's meant to be, but really they're just caught in a loop. Recognize the push-pull for what it is, a deliberate strategy to keep you hooked. The key to countering this is emotional self-regulation. Don't allow her reactions to dictate your feelings or reactions. Respond with composure and match her energy without over-investing. When she pulls away, you should be able to maintain your grounded focus and not chase her. Your ability to do this shows strength and independence. Number 2, the silent treatment, the power of absence. The silent treatment is a psychological weapon used to assert dominance and control. By withdrawing communication, she forces you into a state of self-reflection, which leads to guilt, self-doubt, and anxiety. The silence isn't just about the absence of words. It's designed to build tension. You've had a disagreement, and instead of discussing it, she disappears. No texts, no calls, no nothing. The space she creates is designed to push you into submission and make you more likely to give in or apologize. This shows up a lot when a woman tries to manipulate. She wants you to feel the weight of her absence, so you'll value her presence more. It forces you to react rather than respond. I think this is where a lot of guys start to panic. They start wondering what they did wrong, and then in turn they start trying to win her approval again. Don't let her silence dictate your mental state. Continue living life as if nothing has changed. When she eventually reaches out, you have to address the issue directly, but from a position of strength. Make it clear that open communication is non-negotiable with you. Number 3, the damsel in distress, the trap of heroism. The damsel in distress is a classic archetype designed to tap into a man's instinct to protect and to provide. By presenting herself as vulnerable or in need of rescue, she triggers your instinctual urge to help. This makes you more emotionally and physically invested. She frequently brings up problems and financial difficulties and emotional trauma and work stress because she expects you to offer some type of solution. This isn't about her sharing her problems. This is about her creating a dynamic where you feel responsible for her overall well-being. But the trap is this: have you ever been confused about why she says one thing but does another? That's no accident. Women use mixed signals and mind games to keep men guessing. I put together a completely free guide to help you decode these behaviors and finally understand what's really going on. So, go ahead and click the link to download it now and stop being left in the dark. The desire to be the protector is deeply ingrained in men's psyche. It's one of those behaviors that'll make a man blind to the fact that he's being manipulated. So it's extremely important to recognize when this instinct is being manipulated. Help, but don't become her crutch. Offer support, but set boundaries. Encourage her to solve her own problems and show appreciation for her independence. This empowers her and prevents you from being drawn into a dependency trap. Number 4, gaslighting. The art of distorting reality. Gaslighting is a psychological tactic where someone manipulates you into doubting your perception or your memory or your sanity. This one is a very devious trick because it chips away at your confidence and self-esteem over time. She contradicts things you've said in the past and claims that you're forgetting or overreacting. Over time, you start to question your own reality and become more reliant on her version of events. Gaslighting is about shifting the ground beneath you and creating confusion and dependence. This is common in relationships where one person wants to maintain the upper hand. You have to stand on business. You have to trust your instincts and your memory. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't allow her to rewrite your memory. I get some guys who feel like they're being gaslit, and they'll ask me if they should keep a record of things, events, or things that were said. And I tell them no. And if you're wondering the same thing, if you should keep a log or a record of things that happened just to ensure that you're not losing your mind and going crazy, I always say no. Because if it gets to that point, you're being gaslit. Communication should always be open and honest. Do not get drawn into endless debates that twist the truth. Number 5, playing hard to get the illusion of scarcity. Playing hard to get is a strategy that leverages the psychological principle of scarcity. When someone seems just slightly out of reach, their perceived value increases. By acting uninterested or unavailable, she makes herself seem more desirable. She takes days to respond to texts, and she cancels plans at the last minute. She shows interest in other guys. This creates a sense of competition and urgency and makes you hungry to win her over because the perceived value of something only increases when it's rare. This is the same logic that's used in marketing, but it's just as effective in dating. Do not fall into the trap of overvaluing what seems scarce in this dating market. Recognize this tactic and maintain your own sense of worth. If she's playing hard to get, you need to match her energy. Show that you have options and aren't overly invested in any one outcome. Number 6, the bait and switch. The shift in expectations. The bait and switch is a deceptive tactic where someone initially presents themselves one way, but later reveals a different personality. This creates confusion and frustration as the relationship and interaction progresses. At the start, she's easygoing. She's nice. She's carefree. She's feminine. But as the connection deepens, she becomes controlling. She starts demanding more of your time and attention. The beta switch is all about inconsistency because it creates an illusion and then changes the rules once you're invested. The sad truth about this one is this: men usually stay because they're chasing the person she was in the first month. They think if they just work harder, they'll get that woman back. You have to be aware of drastic changes in her behavior or expectations, and don't be afraid to confront these shifts directly. Guys, if the relationship no longer aligns with your needs or values, you have to be willing to walk away. The modern dating world is a complex battlefield where emotions and psychology intertwine. But by understanding these dark psychological tricks, you equip yourself with the knowledge to navigate this battlefield with confidence. This is about mastering the game on your terms. Remember, guys, the ultimate power lies in your ability to remain grounded in your values and your self-respect. And if you really want to understand how to respond when you see these patterns, not from a place of emotions or impulsivity, but more so from a position that keeps you respected. Chapter 9. In my book, Attraction Secrets breaks it down in full. It shows you how to set the tone of a relationship so these dynamics don't escalate in the first place. And that's something every man needs. The link is in the description. So with that being said, until the next video, I'll see you guys later. Bye.